Well, good day. Happy Thanksgiving. So this is the first Thanksgiving I've had for since recent memory anyway, where there hasn't been any snow. But it's 18 degrees out Fahrenheit, so the weather's kind of suiting my clothes a little bit better. But today I wanted to talk about saws for out in the bush, right? So and they fall into basically two types, right? There's Bucksaw, and then there's the pruning type saw, right? So which one's better? Which one do I prefer? Well, fair bit of experience with taking saws out into the bush, and right? If you don't take a saw out into the bush when you're headed to the bush, you ain't a bushman, right? So back in the day, right when I first started running the bush, like the Bucksaw was about the only thing you had. And you can see this fella, it ain't been used for quite some time, right? So a long time now, I carried this is a little Bucksaw that fits inside the handle, right? And it's pretty handy, pretty light, and it does a pretty good job out in camp, right? But it's pretty limited, right? And you can take a lot of YouTube videos out there, good ones, where you just take a blade out and build your own little Bucksaw out in the bush, and that's fine too. But I've come to the pruning saws, and I've had several of these little folder kind of things. I gotta go into this is the one that I carry now, and I quite like it, right? It's just so much handier than the Bucksaw. I can just stick this in my back pocket and go about camping. I need it, I got it, right? Rather than carrying the Bucksaw all around. Yeah, I carried a Bucksaw for years. But then when I went up to Alaska, and the fellas I was running with would be out in the bush, and by the time I pulled my little Bucksaw out and got it all put together, they'd already cut the brush, and they were all using little pruning saws. So that's pretty handy. And this is a little Corona, right? Man, it's awesome. I know there's a bunch of good ones out there too, but yeah, this is Corona's the one I've kind of settled on, and it's the one I'm gonna keep using, right? And that yeah, it's getting serious about things. I went to Silky Katana Boy 650. This bugger is a magnum, right? And it's actually, for its weight and everything, it's great. If you're going out where you got a base camp and things like that, it's really hard to beat this fella right here. So you've got, if you're going out for just a day or a couple of days, just a little saw is good enough, right? But you need to put some wood away for like firewood or whatever for base camp. It's hard to beat this fella right here. So yeah, and this thing, I've used it now for 2 years now. Kept it in my truck in Alaska because I didn't want to carry a chainsaw in my truck. In the storms, we always have trees blowing down on the road, so I always kept this in the truck, and it's just come in handy, right? And well, I tell you what, 2 years and it's still sharp. It's just sharp as can be. And I've cut, almost all conifers and land, hardwoods. Birch was the only, or birch and alder, and aspen were the only hardwoods up in Alaska. And I come down to North Dakota, right? And so I'm cutting ash, and does a great job on that. And then the Russian olive, which is pretty dang hard. It's like hard as my ex-wife's heart, right? So, but the advantage of this thing, I hadn't even thought of, but when I first got it. So on the way down, you know, a lot of times I'd have to camp where folks had camped before, right? So there's the wood was like trying to get wood in a campground that's all been picked over. Well, this gives you a heck of a lot more reach, and we'll go over here and I'll show you what I mean, right? Stand on I'm actually going to stand on some wood. So I'm on a piece of wood, and yeah, that's as close as I can get to some firewood there. So, but I'm gonna just stand on the ground. Well, now I'll just stand on the wood here. You can see I can reach that butter. If I can get to the same spot. Here, here's my pathetic little wood yard I got going here. So I'm gonna set this thing up, and we'll cut this. This is a piece of ash that Beaver kind of helped me harvest this piece. Anyway, I'll set this camera up and I'll show you how that Katana boy goes right through stuff. That's about 6 inch piece of ash, and she's good and cured, good and dry. So here we go. One of the advantages of a bucksaw is you can use it single-handed. So this thing's not made to be used with two hands, but that's all right. Oh, it's still pretty hard to do. Like that. There you go. There's that piece of ash. Now it's, yeah, about 6 inches or so. Pretty bloody hard. Works dang good. So, yeah, this thing's a bit of a beast. Couldn't have had a little more lead in my pencil. I'd been through that thing a little bit quicker, but yeah, all right. Yeah, getting old. So, yeah, this thing's worth its weight in gold. Finish up the thoughts on this thing, right? So, bucksaw or pruning saw. Yeah, like I said, there's some nice folding bucksaws out there right now that do a bang up job, right? And they don't weigh much and easy to pack and stuff with that. But my experience, I'm a pruning type saw fella, right? They're just two-handed. They're just so much handier than the buck in my opinion, right? So yeah. Anyway, there you go. Right, my thoughts on saws for out in the bush, right? So yeah, you don't have a saw out in the bush, you ain't a bushman, right? Cheers.